Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. How you guys doing? My child is up in here. Let me turn. Hey, y'all. Hey. My son is so nosy. He's like, Mom, you turning the camera on? You're going to be in the camera, you know.
Oh my skippity.
Bye. My child is crazy. Hey, y'all. Man, all right. So this is going to it's a lot going with this Buzbee thing. And Jay-Z is a lot of back and forth. So I do want to go over the latest complaint that was filed by not filed by Buzbee, but filed on Buzbee, alleging that he gave this woman a nasty word. So if you on my IG, you have already seen what he gave her. So head over to IG, make sure y'all like and subscribe and all that other stuff. But I'm gonna turn my camera off because I know my kids, they always be trying to end up on the screen, and this ain't even they live. All right, so let's hop into a few things. This has been a whirlwind of back and forth. They punching each other and all this other stuff. Now, I've been on Instagram all day pretty much, but I scroll down my feed and I see this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what has happened now? Now, I know why is this showing up on this page too? Hold up. Let me take it off of all right, do that because I don't know why it's showing on both pages. Okay. So I seen this morning and I knew they were referring to the how can I say this? So yesterday, remember how I told you guys that there were two lawsuits that were filed in the U.S. District Court of Louisiana, and then there was an order to show cause that was filed in New York, and that one was for malpractice. A complaint was not filed at the time. It was just an order to show cause to request the court to have Buzbee appear at a certain time on a certain date. As of today, a full complaint has been filed with the New York Supreme Court. So I do want to go over what Buzbee shared on his profile right quick, and I can't make it bigger, but I am going to read it to you guys. So this is Tony Buzbee's statement that he posted this morning. Was it this morning? Or it said 3 hours ago. I don't know. That's weird. But anywho, maybe he edited it. I don't know. But here's what it reads. The smear campaign continues. Today, I was sued yet again by a lawyer affiliated with the same lawyers I face in the Diddy litigation. The conspiracy to discredit me and intimidate me from pursuing claims in the Diddy litigation has at this point become criminal. This latest case, like the others, is frivolous, laughable, and ridiculous and will be dismissed like the others. It now seems that every other day there is another false claim filed, all of which are being ginned up by individuals working on behalf of or in concert with those Roc Nation and Diddy interests. The latest one is provably false and literally no factual basis or merit whatsoever. Prior to the filing it Prior to filing it, the lawyer demanded 20 million from me, claiming that if I didn't pay, he would trash my reputation despite being shown that his clients in quotations wild claims could not be true. We won't just sit back and allow this criminality to continue. We have reported this conduct to the relevant legal authorities, and he will. I'm sorry. We will. Let me see. Da, 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 and we will be filing our own cases against those behind this to put a stop to it once and for all. So this is Buzbee's statement. Now I'm gonna take y'all to Roc Nation's statement. And let me share this tab. All right, so here we go. Here is a statement by Roc Nation. Now it shows that they posted this after Tony posted what he posted. So it says, let's get this right. Roc Nation is not going to be arrested because his client, alleged ex lover, is accusing him of assaulting her, giving her a venereal, giving her the ooh wee, and asking her to falsify documents in a lawsuit. We suppose it we suppose it is also Roc Nation's fault that your other ex-clients are suing you for allegedly stealing their money. No and no. God is behind that sunlight you keep referencing. We are not the source of every sunlight that you get, but rock sunshine is coming your way, Mr. 1800. 1-800. Shameful. I oh my gosh. And this is not the first time I have ever heard uh another attorney go after another attorney and says, "Well, if you don't do this, I'm a bash you." Like it goes down in the legal world, but for this context is crazy. I can't even think of the words because I'm just baffled that this is actually going on between Jay-Z's attorney and Buzbee. Another thing that I did want to shed light on is someone commented, I want to say a couple of days ago, about Buzbee being um what am I trying to say? Being admitted in New York to practice law. So in the Sean Carter case, his attorney mentioned that Tony Buzbee has not filed for admission in that jurisdiction. So here's how it works. And because someone said, well, he is uh authorized to practice law in the state of New York, because somebody did a search. And I have to explain that being having a bar license, you are able to represent clients on the district court, county court levels. Okay. When you're dealing with federal, like the US district courts, you have to actually seek admission into that particular district. I hate when I don't know why my screen keep coming off. All right. So the Sean Carter Diddy case is in the New York District Court, the Southern District Court. So I believe they have the Eastern, the Northern, and the Southern. So either way, it doesn't matter if you have a bar license for that state, you also have to seek admission for the US, the federal courts. So here, if you go to the New York State Bar website, yes, he does have a bar license. So he is able to practice in the state of New York. Okay. He just has to he has to get an admission to the Southern District of New York. Now, if he's in the process of doing this, it's probably going to take some time. I'm pretty sure this is not his first time even doing this. So my thing is, maybe he's in the process of doing it, or he already has admission to the Southern District of New York, but it's just not on file. I don't know, because I can't do an attorney search for the Southern District like I can for the Eastern or the Northern Districts. So just to get this right, yes, he can practice law in the state of New York, but however, he still has to seek admission in whatever federal district he is in. What's up, Buttercup? All right, so I hope that kind of clears the air from some of you. What else did I want to talk about? I think that was it. So I just talked about him having his New York State bar license. He just has to seek admission if he has not already done so, to the Southern District of New York, and then that will take care of him filing that suit against Sean Carter and Diddy and all that other stuff. Okay. Now, what y'all came for? Y'all came for this. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. So remember yesterday when I was reading the complaint, and the complaint mentioned that he threw or he pushed some flute into the lady's mouth, and it chipped her tooth, and she has the dental and medical records. So this is the lady that actually filed the suit against him, and so it gives a little bit more detail and context as to what happened. um oh my gosh, y'all. We just gonna read this, and I'm laughing because I've never in my lifetime seen this play out like publicly. So it's just like this is better than daytime soap operas. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. All right, so plaintiff Jane Doe brings this complaint seeking compensation. So she coming out saying, I want money for the harm she has suffered at the hands of defendant Anthony Glenn Buzbee for his repeated failure to put his ethical obligations as an attorney over his own interests. Defendant's deceit and lack of care left plaintiff with an incurable disease and caused her to lose out on assets she should have retained through her divorce. Now I'm telling y'all this right now. I'm just trying to figure out what the disease got to do with anything. All right. This type of cause of action, this is a tort. They call it a malpractice. All right. So she's pretty much suing him for malpractice for his unethical uh behavior during the divorce case that he represented her on. I'm just trying to figure out where the disease had why you have to say that. I'm just trying to figure out why you gotta say that he left you with a disease. Why? How is that relevant? But anywho, so since 2018, defendant has taken advantage of plaintiff for his own personal gain, but that ends now. The first time the parties met, defendant lured her into having a actual encounter with him by concealing the fact that he had a, I'm gonna call it the ooh wee. So the fact that he had the ooh wee. Defendant knew of the risk that he would pass the ooh-wee to plaintiff if he did not take the appropriate precautions, and when that risk materialized, he manipulated her to protect himself from reputational harm using his status as a licensed attorney. I was like, you know what? I think it's fun. I think I might turn my camera on so y'all can see this because I'm over here laughing because I'm like, what does the disease have to do with anything? All right. So in 2021, as a result of defendant's manipulation, plaintiff allowed defendant who had just married a 23, wait, hold up, married a woman 23 years younger than him to represent her in a divorce. To represent her in her divorce. Defendant assured plaintiff that he would fight for her to receive her fair share of marital assets. But rather than uphold his promises and ethical obligations to zealously advocate for plaintiff's interests within the confines of the law, defendant used the opportunity to doctor plaintiff's medical record to make it look as if he could not have been the one who infected her with a ooh-wee, with the ooh-wee. That's what we're calling it, the ooh-wee. Defendant then used the blatantly falsified records to attempt to blackmail plaintiff's husband to circumvent ordinary negotiations to distribute assets in the context of the divorce. When that failed, defendant arranged a settlement that left plaintiff with a fraction of what she should have received in order to resolve the matter as quickly as possible and bury his egregious misconduct. Hey, Coco. Um, all right. So if Buzbee did falsify these medical records, I don't know. Now, I have never requested records in a family law case. I know that if the other party asks for them, then that would be for the parties to get and submit with, through discovery. But I don't know. Buzbee, if you did this, I don't know what to say. I really don't. You can't be out here falsifying records. Let's get into this. Oh my gosh. So she's a resident of Texas. Let me see. So plaintiff has filed an order to show cause seeking permission to proceed under the pseudonym Jane Doe in order to avoid reputational harm and collateral consequences from the public disclosure of her sensitive medial info. And it's supposed to be medical. So whoever did this didn't do no spell check. Let's start with that. Hold on, let me see who filed this lawsuit. Jeremy, but why I seen that name before? Oops, my bad. I ain't trying to do that. I think this is the same. Hold on. I'm gonna look after I do this because that sounds familiar. And we all know who Buzbee is, so I ain't gotta tell y'all. So let's get to the facts. Let's figure out how in the world she ended up catching a ooh wee. Factual allegations. So defendant recklessly gave plaintiff the ooh wee and manipulated her into silence. In early 2018, plaintiff connected with defendant online where he charmed her with conversation and persuaded her to meet in person for a date. How sweet. Plaintiff traveled to defendant's home of Houston, Texas, where he took her to a dinner and a show. After the show, defendant invited plaintiff to stay and have a few drinks, and then he arranged for them to spend the night in a five-star hotel. I bet it was the Omni. Let me stop. Defendant seduced plaintiff to engage in activities without disclosing that he had the ooh wee. All right. After spending the night with defendant in early 2018, here it is, 2024. 2024, y'all. All right. So you was at the hotel. Wait. So that's in early 2018. That's when y'all connected. It doesn't show exactly when she traveled, you know, no, it doesn't show exactly when they went to the dinner and show and they spent the night. All right. So it's sometime early 2018. So after she spent the night, y'all, plaintiff began to feel uncomfortable sensations around her growing. Plaintiff made an appointment with her physician to address this issue. Okay, so you're saying after you spent the night, you begin to feel uncomfortable sensations. I've never had anything, thank God, knocking on wood. But how long does it take? I'm not even gonna say it out loud. Hold up. I'm looking this up on my phone. Take to get. I mean, not to get, but to catch. I can't believe I'm looking this up in my phone. Uh, Now this says incubation periods. But this says it can take up to 7 weeks. It could take up to 7 weeks. And then I'm looking, some says at the least 4. And I'm looking up, so just look up STI, y'all. And then y'all, it'll give you the rest. So at the minimum 4 days, it will actually show up. So she's saying, now I ain't saying she lying, okay? I'm just simply saying it does not. The very next day she started having symptoms. Shortly after the appointment, plaintiff's physician informed plaintiff that she had contracted the ooey from her encounter with the defendant. Plaintiff's physician shared with her the unfortunate news that the ooey was an incurable disease that could cause her pain and embarrassment for the rest of her life. After receiving the ooey diagnosis, plaintiff called defendant to inform him that he had transmitted the ooey to her. Defendant was apologetic and unsurprised because, on information and belief, he was already aware that he had the ooey and that he did not take appropriate precautions to prevent transmission when they were engaging in sexual activities. Now, I don't see, I've never had this, so I don't know, but can you still catch the ooh-wee if you are practicing safely? I need to know that. I don't know. Defendant instructed plaintiff not to tell anyone and offered to provide free legal services as compensation for his deceit and carelessness that resulted in plaintiff contracting the incurable disease. Filled with shame and grief over her diagnosis, plaintiff continued seeing defendant. The only partner she would not have to inform of her ooey test results. Defendant became possessive of plaintiff in an effort to keep her close and manipulate her into keeping his secret. Mm. Defendant began inviting plaintiff on trips with him in his private jet to Panama and New York City, where he owned a residence. While in New York City, the defendant, plaintiff, and a friend had a drink at the bar where defendant would later meet them. Defendant entered, he observed plaintiff conversing with another patron of the bar. In a jealous rage, defendant smashed plaintiff's glass into her face, causing plaintiff's front teeth to chip. Plaintiff became fearful of what defendant would do if she ever spoke out against defendant and stayed silent until the filing of this suit. So pretty much for 6 years, she has remained silent and decided to come out since, everything else is coming out. So why not? Why not seize this as an opportunity to tell your story? Defendant committed legal malpractice and violated his ethical duties to cover up his misdeeds. Approximately 2.5 years later, in 2021, plaintiff and her then husband initiated a divorce. So you cheated on your husband. Okay. Or y'all were separated. I don't know. I'm just saying. Consistent with his promise to provide free legal services in exchange for plaintiff's silence, defendant undertook representation of plaintiff in her divorce. Defendant assured plaintiff that he would fight for her to receive her fair share of the marital assets. Defendant used his position as plaintiff's sole attorney as an opportunity to doctor plaintiff's medical records to make it look as if he could not have been the one who infected her with the ooey. Specifically, defendant falsified the test to show that she contracted the ooey in 2020 from her soon to be ex-husband rather than 2018 from defendant. On April 13, 2021, defendant sent a demand letter to the plaintiff's husband with a knowingly fraudulent claim that he, rather than the defendant, had infected plaintiff with the ooey. Defendant's attempt at blackmail did not work, and plaintiff's husband continued to litigate the divorce. Because all they had to do, if that was the case, they could have subpoenaed the medical records. And I bet you that's probably what they did to determine Buzbee. Mm-mm-mm. On June 14, 2021, Prior to mediation in the divorce proceeding, plaintiff's husband made requests for discovery relating to defendant. There you go. There you go, right there. Defendant insisted that the divorce settle quickly and without discovery. On information and belief, defendant provided his advice to avoid production of documents that would uncover his fraud in affecting plaintiff with the ooh-wee in 2018. So here's the thing. Here is the thing. And I see where this goes. So the husband, right, requested discovery in which they request production. It's called a request for production. And so what happens is you ask them for certain documents, bank statements, medical records, and I'm pretty sure in this case, like if you're accusing me of, giving you the ooh wee, I need to see proof of that. And so she would have to provide that to her husband's attorney so they can review it. Now, if they review it and they see that it's something off, they can subpoena or they can request the records themselves. And then if they match that up and see that, the document's been falsified, that's a whole nother lawsuit right there. You can't be falsifying medical records. At defendant's insistence and direction, plaintiff entered into a divorce agreement, a divorce settlement that resulted in a dramatic loss for plaintiff, who otherwise stood to recover an equitable split of the marital assets. Defendant also directed that the divorce settlement include an arbitration clause precluding plaintiff from further litigation with her husband. On information and belief, defendant inserted this term to prevent his involvement from being exposed in the courts open to public, and that's what it is. So he convinced her to settle prior to any. So what was this? Was it prior to mediation? Yep. So prior to them going to mediation and prior to her producing the medical records to the husband so he could see, they decided to settle, and she settled for less than whatever the marital assets were. And that's Buzbee, you wrong for that. You wrong for that, my boy. You are totally wrong for that. Hold on, who texted me? Nobody. So her first cause of action is she filing for legal malpractice, in which she's entitled to. He represented her during the plaintiff's divorce in 2021. During the Oh wait, hold up. I just realized what I said. Hold up. The husband. Oh, no, 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 no. Plaintiff's husband made requests for discovery relating to defendant. So he requested the records from Tony Buzbee, not the wife. He From him? Wait, plaintiff's husband made request. All right, so this is weird. Defendant insisted that yeah, it says plaintiff's husband made request for discovery relating to the defendant. So the husband asked for records. Well, actually made a request for discovery, so that's information and records relating to Tony Buzbee. Oh, that's why he made her settle quickly. I just had to think about that. All right, so malpractice. Here's the legal malpractice. Defendant represented plaintiff during her divorce in 2021. Defendant's representation of plaintiff, during defendant's representation of plaintiff, defendant induced plaintiff to engage in mediation and agree to a settlement without litigation or discovery. By causing plaintiff to agree to a settlement without litigation, oh, so they didn't even go to litigation. It was before they litigated the case. And yes, you can have a mediation before you go to you file a lawsuit. By causing a plaintiff to agree into a settlement without litigation, plaintiff was forced to accept a settlement far below the amount she was otherwise entitled to. As a direct and proximate cause, or I'm sorry, result of defendant's actions, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer damages in the amount to be proven at trial. So I'm assuming, Tony Buzbee put in a clause that after she this particular settlement that she can't go back after the husband, right? My question is, why, if she knew something was wrong, why she did not get an attorney to sort this out? Why wait, so many years later to do this while, Buzbee is the talk of the land right now? Baby, it didn't say which one it was. I just know it was the ooh wee. And they said whatever he gave her, allegedly, she has to deal with it for the rest of her life. So I don't know what that is. Violation of judiciary laws. During defendant's representation of plaintiff, he caused plaintiff to avoid litigation against her husband in her divorce proceeding. Further, defendant caused defendant's divorce settlement to incorporate an arbitration provision that has deprived plaintiff of an adequate remedy to litigate issues concerning the divorce settlement. And right there, if you were not able to do that, I would have immediately gotten me a lawyer and went after Buzbee if that is the case. Yes, Coco. This is wild. This is beyond wild. I'm like, Buzbee, if you out here giving people the ooh wee, you should be dealt with accordingly, my guy. Defendant's action were undertaken to protect defendant's interests, concealing his blackmail attempt, misconduct of plaintiff's attorney, and the role in infecting plaintiff with the ooh-wee in 2018. Now, the day after, y'all remember, the day after she had symptoms that she spent the night with him. As a result, now this ain't making sense. So he met you online. He met you online. Y'all went to a show. Y'all had dinner. Y'all went to a 5-star hotel. Was this all in like one weekend or something? Or is this in the course of, because I was like, how many times was that the first time that you guys had relations? There's like so many holes. Well, it's not holes, but there's like so many questions I have on the back end. As a result of defendant's willful neglect of his client's legal rights in her divorce proceedings to protect himself, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer damages in the amount to be proven at trial. The third cause of action is the breach of fiduciary duty. As plaintiff's lawyer in her divorce proceeding, defendant owed plaintiff a fiduciary duty. Defendant's successful efforts to induce plaintiff to accept an inadequate settlement to avoid litigation, which have resulted in the discovery of defendant's fraud, constitute a breach of defendant's fiduciary duty. So, like, you messed up her settlement. You messed up her settlement by avoiding, because you didn't want to be exposed for giving her the ooh-wee. Fourth cause of action, fraudulent misrepresentation. It says to benefit himself, defendant made material and intentional misrepresentations of present fact to plaintiff, including that he was advocating for her interests as counsel in her divorce proceedings. Defendant knew these representations were material, false, and misleading. In reality, defendant used his position as plaintiff's attorney to serve his own interests at the detriment of plaintiff. Defendant made these representations with the intent and expectation that plaintiff would rely on them. Plaintiff reasonably relied on defendant's misrepresentations, without which plaintiff would have been entitled to a larger portion of the marital assets. Hey, how you doing, Sassy Cassie? Oh, my child is up here repeating me. He gonna get that little boy. But for defendant's misrepresentation, plaintiff would not have entered into the divorce settlement and would not have agreed to any distribution of assets less than what she was legally entitled to under the Texas Family Code. Ooh, y'all know what? I can access those baby. Oh wait, no. I can't because this was pre-litigation. Darn it! They ain't found nothing. I'm about to say, baby, I could go pull a lawsuit, but then I'm thinking there isn't none. Wait, no, there has to be a petition for divorce because that's the only way you're gonna get divorced. I'ma look at it. How I'ma look at it? I don't know her name, but I could find it out. Because if he represented her, I could pull his case. I'm about to do some research because I want to know. I ain't tell now. If I do find out, I ain't telling y'all who she is. I'm definitely not telling y'all who she is, but I'm gonna find out, and I might see what I need to see, and I might present that to y'all. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Where was I at? Plaintiff has suffered substantial damage as a direct result of defendant's fraudulent misrepresentations in the amount to be determined by trial. Defendant's acts of fraudulent misrepresentation were willful, wanton, malicious, entitling plaintiff to punitive damages. And then we have tortious interference. Plaintiff divorce agreement constituted an economic opportunity for plaintiff. As plaintiff's counsel in her divorce proceedings, defendant was aware of plaintiff's economic opportunity. While aware of that opportunity, defendant induced plaintiff to accept a de minimis settlement to protect defendant's personal interests. As a result, defendant's tortious conduct, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer. All right, damages in amount to be proven at trial. Declaratory judgment. Here we go. So, plaintiff entered into a divorce settlement with her ex-husband in 2021. Plaintiff entered into a divorce settlement in reliance of defendant's advice and as her attorney. Defendant's advice and conduct represented plaintiff in her divorce proceedings constitutes legal malpractice. Plaintiff's ex-husband has taken the position that under the terms of the divorce settlement, plaintiff is not entitled to any portion of the income he recently received from assets he acquired during the marriage. Because what happens is if you have okay, so you have your separate property that you obtain before the marriage, right? Now, in the marriage, you have like anything that you guys obtain together that's considered your community property. And because let's say that the husband buys a house, but the wife lived in it and all this other stuff, but her name is not on the house, that would still be considered their community property. And so they just have to come up with an agreement as to what they're going to do with the house if they split. Either he keeps the house and she just goes freely, or they sell the house and he gives her a percentage of it, since so it's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with community property. But the fact that the settlement agreement in the divorce did not entitle her to any of the income that he received from any of those assets, that's wild. Tony, if you did this, I am appalled. Plaintiff is therefore entitled to a declaration that the terms of the divorce settlement are null and void, or in the alternative, that the defendant's malpractice deprived plaintiff of her right to a portion of the marital assets. So if the courts review this and they agree that, Buzbee did do what he did, then what happens is the divorce settlement will be null and void, and they would have to do it the right way. They would have to do it the right way. I'm about to find that case. An actual justiciable controversy exists between plaintiff and defendant whether divorce settlement is the result of legal malpractice, entitling plaintiff to renegotiate or receive a portion of the marital assets. So that divorce settlement, that's what they're trying to see. Did Buzbee purposely encouraged her to sign this divorce settlement because he did not want those things to be, to come out or him to be exploited. If they do determine that, then they have to pretty much vacate the judgment or the final order and actually have to renegotiate the settlement. So it could be a possibility. If they do that, it could be a possibility that she will be able to get some of the marital assets. But I'm like, it's 2024. That was what, 3 years ago? Whew. A declaratory judgment would serve the useful purpose of clarifying and settling any future interpretation of the divorce settlement. A declaratory judgment would finalize the controversy and offer plaintiff relief. The substantial controversy between the parties is of sufficient immediacy and reality to warrant issuance of a declaratory judgment. For these reasons, this is what she is requesting relief against Buzbee: actual damage, consequential damages, punitive damage, and such other relief available under the causes of action in an amount to be determined by trial. A declaration that the divorce settlement is null and void, or in the alternative, that defendant's malpractice deprive plaintiff of her right to a portion of the liquidity event. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to look that up because I've never heard of that. The cost of bringing this suit, including reasonable attorney fees and such other further relief as the court sees fit. Hold on, let's see. Liquidity event. Legal definition. All right, so the liquidity event is a legal process that allows shareholder. Well, that's that one. Let me see. Divorce. Do I have my Westlaw up? I don't think so. All right. So divorce. Oh, but they're calling it. All right. So either the divorce settlement is going to be null and void, or in the alternative, defendant's malpractice deprived plaintiff of her right to a portion of the liquidity event, which means the division of assets in division of assets in the divorce, which includes liquid and less liquid assets. Okay. I guess it's the same thing. In a divorce, judges consider the liquidity of assets when allocating between spouses. I have to look. I have to do some more research on that because that is different. But these spams, and you is on Twitch. Go away. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so that's it. That is all. That is it. It's not too much on that. Exit out of all this. So yeah, that is all. Let me get to my Q&A screen. All right, y'all. So that is all. Let me see, Cassie. What did you say? Y'all like my Super Mario shirt? Super Mario. I'm a Mario Brothers. Please do. It's interesting with these dates of when she dated him, but still legally married. That seems like it's not okay, or maybe I'm not understanding right, and that is possible. No, you are understanding right. So she's saying that she met him in early 2018. She didn't initiate the divorce until 2021. So I don't know if she was separated and that's why she ended up getting divorced. I don't know. But I'm gonna find out and let y'all know though. But yeah. So that is the latest lawsuit against Buzbee, and it is crazy that she put those allegations in there, but now I understand why she did that. So they initiated divorce, and Buzbee just pretty much tried to make it seem that the husband gave it to her in order to get him to pay money out of the divorce. It's like, hey, I'm sending you that demand letter that he sent Jay-Z, he sent to the husband. And he said, hey, You need to pay me this because you done gave her the ooh wee. And the husband was like, nah, 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 that don't sound right. So then they went into the litigation portion of it. And the husband requested records on Buzbee. And Buzbee was like, nah, 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 I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. So he told his girlfriend at the time, like, look, I can't let nobody know what I got. I can't let nobody know I got this ooh wee. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and accept this divorce settlement. And she was like, okay, I'll do it. After she done caught the ooh wee in 2018 and still stayed with this man. This is crazy. Think it's like tit for tat with these lawyers. It is. I have never seen anything like this done publicly. So I'm just like, it's like every day I say I'm rooting for Buzbee, right? And then something comes up like this. But I don't want y'all to, how can I say this? Be deterred from what's really going on. If Buzbee never amended that complaint, that Jane Doe complaint, and added Sean Carter, we would have never known any of this. And I don't even think that any of the lawsuits against Buzbee would actually be filed. Now, would they? Let me see. I think those Louisiana ones was before the amended complaint. Or was it? Hold on, y'all. Let me, because if I'm not mistaken, that amended complaint came about, what was it? Was it December? And I believe that the hold up. Let me log on to this and damn it. Do I want to do this? Hold on, I'm gonna do it for y'all. Mr. Anthony Buzbee. Because I'm thinking that the lawsuits, the two Louisiana lawsuits, came out before the complaint was amended, because those people legitimately did not receive their funds. And so I hope they get what they deserve, because you can't just sit there. If you're an overseer of those maintenance and cure payments that are supposed to be given to them so that way they can do their daily living expenses, then you was wrong for that. Um, oh no. December 9th. So Thompson filed his on December 9th, and Gurdry, I think that's how you say his name. So the two Louisiana cases, they filed, one filed on the 9th, the other one filed on the 13th. So let me see when Buzbee amended that complaint. Sean Carter. I could show y'all my screen, but boop-a-doop-a-doo. I'm still on live, Dylan. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Now, Doe. Pulling up your comment while I'm doing this. All right. So he filed the amended complaint on oh, hold on. All right. So y'all check this out. So the amended complaint was filed on December 8th. But prior to that, we know that a demand letter was sent out requesting a confidential hearing between Jay-Z and the young lady to discuss the allegations. On the 9th of December, one of the people filed a lawsuit against Buzbee. And then on the 13th, another party filed suit against Buzbee. Then, if we go all the way to New York, let me see when she filed this. She initially filed, I believe, in November. I think that's what I seen. Anthony Buzbee. So no, November 19th is when she requested in order to show cause for legal malpractice. Mm-hmm. Hold up, and I'll show you guys. So this is only my theory. I'm not saying that, it's true. It's just my thought process. So I believe when Buzbee sent out that demand letter to Jay-Z, that prompted everything to start. The PI, the what's her name, Marcy Croft, Quinn Emanuel, all of them. It prompted them to start this uh campaign. That's what I'm gonna call it. Like he said, a smear campaign. It prompted the smear campaign when he sent out the demand to Jay-Z, right? The first person was the ex-girlfriend. Because mind you, Busby told us that people were contacting him, his family, anybody he was associated with, his employees, their families, former clients, current clients, and anything else in between. So we read yesterday some of the we didn't listen, but we read the transcripts, right, of the conversations between the private investigators and these clients, saying, hey, I'll give you $1,000, if you sign on with us, or I'll give you $10,000 if you sign on with us and be included in this civil class action suit. But I don't think that it's a class action suit, because a class action suit, it would be just one lawsuit. I'm thinking that they prompted people to reach out to attorneys to file suit against Buzbee. It is a smear campaign coming out across the 50 states. So Jane Doe prompted it off November 19th. She filed her lawsuit. Then going over in Louisiana on December 9th, another person filed their lawsuit for a misappropriation of funds. A couple of days later, on December 13th, they went ahead and filed a lawsuit for a misappropriation of funds. And honestly, I don't think that it's over. I think we are going to see more lawsuits against Buzbee. And what they're trying to do is exactly what he's saying, a smear campaign. Now, do I agree with the allegations that are coming out? I do not. But like he said, they have to go through discovery phase. Y'all know I always say this, the petitioner has the burden of proof. So you have to prove that he did not, he kept y'all maintenance and cure payments. You have to prove that the settlement funds that you received was misappropriated. You're gonna have to clue over here in this what we call this malpractice suit, the legal malpractice. You're going to have to uh prove that the divorce settlement was signed by you because you was pressured to do so, so Busbee's ooh wee story wouldn't come out. But like I said, I think more lawsuits are going to be underway. They're trying to deter people from the fact that Jay-Z was named in a complaint. Now, as I stated before, Jay-Z has filed a motion to strike the First Amendment complaint and to dismiss him from the Jane Doe case. They're saying that Buzbee hasn't even sought admission into the Southern District of New York, and that all of the allegations in the complaint towards Jay-Z, not anybody else, but towards Jay-Z, are baseless. They are fraudulent. They are, it's a frivolous complaint because they failed to vet the young lady. And my thing, let the litigation play out. Because if you let the litigation play out, once again, they have to prove what they're suing you for. And I always tell you, I have my speculations with Jay-Z. I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to observe. But I just feel like the moves that are being made are suspicious to me. And I'm just saying this from a from a paralegal standpoint. I feel that the moves that Jay-Z is making is suspicious. In the words of my kids, it's kind of sus. All of these lawsuits against Buzbee are kind of sus. Now, if he did them, he definitely need to proceed with. Don't even worry about dismissing them. Like, go through litigation and have them prove that these allegations are true. Make them do some work. Make them spend some money. But yeah, oh, let me go. Sassy Cassie said it's a distraction for sure. Even if Buzbee gave her the super ick, doesn't mean the other suits aren't true. Plus, girl, make him get dressed for the occasion so you risk of the super icky is lower. So none of these suits came until after he amended the complaint. Interesting. Well, this is messy. It really is messy. But like I said, remember, he sent that demand letter. Usually, when you send out a demand letter, I don't know for, well, I'm not going to say I don't know. We normally give people 30 to 45 days, but normally for the attorneys that I contract with, we give 30 days, no more than 30 days for you to respond to a demand. So if he amended that complaint on the 8th of December, that means in November, possibly late October, he sent out a demand letter to Jay-Z and say, hey, I want to conduct a confidential meeting to discuss the allegations of my client. Jay-Z ignored that letter for 30 days. And since Buzbee didn't hear from him, he amended the complaint to include Jay-Z. So between late October, early November, people were being contacted by these PIs, and that is what triggered all of these lawsuits. I totally agree because Jay-Z has always been super quiet. Now he's yelling out. The whole Roc Nation tweet today was a lot. It was. I'm just like, what? Talking about we don't have, pretty much what they're saying is we didn't make nobody, file a lawsuit against you to, you know, to disclose that you got the ooh wee or that stealing people's money. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. But yet, because every time Buzbee hits high and he gives us um information and call transcript. Somebody even talk about that's a call yeah, it is a call transcript. Somebody actually had to transcribe the call. Where is this darn thing? Now I'll go because I gotta cook my chicken breast for these kids right quick so we could eat. I had to thaw my chicken out because it wasn't thawed all the way. Where's my YouTube? Who we talking about? This Jay-Z? Or did I put it under Buzbee? Wait. I swear, all of this is coming out. Suit against Roc Nation and transcript or audio recording. Because I was like, one thing I don't like doing is going back and forth with people. Um, First and foremost, as I stated last night, shout out to, did I just, hold on, let me share the right screen. Shout out to US Legal. When I used to work at the US Legal Support, work at the big firms, this who we use. They do any and everything for your copy and all that. So shout out to US Legal Support. But you see this? Y'all see this? Transcript of audio recorded telephonic conversation. They actually sat there. This is a certificate of transcriptionist. So a transcriptionist listened to the call and she typed out all of these things. So don't be in my comments talk about, oh, that could have been it. A transcriptionist did this. And look what this says. I hate when people come for me, and it's right here. Now, whether you choose how you interpret this, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you have to take one of my GED classes, and I can help you learn how to, comprehend something. But it clearly says certificate of transcriber. I, Lori C. Munn, I don't know how to say her last name, do hereby certify that I was authorized to transcribe the foregoing recorded proceeding and that the transcript is true and accurate transcription to the best of my ability, taken while listening to the provided recording. I further certify that I am not of counsel or attorney for either or any of the parties to said proceeding, nor in any way interested in the events of this cause, and that I am not related to any of these parties thereto. Okay? Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Shout out to US Legal Support once again. They are legit. Go to their website. So this is a certified transcript of an audio call of investigators calling people, asking them, do they want to meet, and saying, hey, we just paid somebody this amount of money. Luckily, the caller wasn't even trying to hear it, to be honest. But they pretty much told them in this call who they are. They didn't say exactly who they work for, but they made some insinuations. And they pretty much said, hey, we're trying to go after Buzbee. And he got all these other people filing lawsuits. Y'all, where is that at? I forgot, but they said, yeah, people are already filing suit. So how do you know this? First of all, when was this call? Does it even say when the call was? I don't even know. No. But I know that December 9th, she transcribed this. I don't know when this call was, but there you go. So don't come over here talk about, oh, that's somebody could have just typed that up. No, anybody can't type that up. This is a transcriber. This is her job. This is what she does. And she put a certificate behind it. This is what Buzbee is uncovering, and people are sweeping this under the rug. There are people out there that are trying to put out any and everything they can to undermine and discredit Buzbee. Now, as I'm going to keep saying it, if he did misappropriated funds, if he did give this young lady a disease and she, signed this divorce settlement because he didn't want it coming out, I hope they all get this taken care of. Seek it out, duke it out during litigation, let the courts handle it. However, that none of that should deter anybody from the real issue at hand. He was named in a amended complaint for allegations of raping someone. Okay? That's all. Keep your eyes on the prize. Well, that's not a prize, but keep your eyes on the main issue. Don't let it deter you from what's going on in the outside. That is what they're trying to do. That's just like, anybody, if you don't like somebody, you're going to try to throw some salt on their name. You're trying to make people see, who this person is to take the pressure off of you. And that, once again, that's my opinion. Like I said, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna observe this one. But in my opinion, the way he is moving too shady. He's moving too shady for me. Just like with Diddy, they sent him a demand letter. He didn't respond. Cassie's attorney then filed a lawsuit. Less than 24 hours, Diddy paid. What did they say about Diddy? They said, "Oh, payment is not an admission of guilt." And then a couple of months, what happened? We get a video of of him dragging her down the hall, throwing stuff at her, pulling her by her hair, and all this other stuff. But people said she was lying. People so quick not to believe a victim. Now, I don't know all of the allegations. I don't know, the story behind, but that's the whole purpose of having litigation. That's the whole purpose of going through discovery. If people don't know what discovery is a phase during the litigation process. Well, each party, they provide information and they provide documents for the other side to actually review. If the other side question any of that, that's an opportunity for them to hire experts in that field to look at whatever it is that they need to look at or review. This is an opportunity for them to subpoena any records that weren't given to them or any information that wasn't given to them. And I honestly think that that is going to be a process. But just like y'all seen what Buzbee did in this divorce case, he tried to nip it in the bud before he get exploited. Look at what Jay-Z is doing. He's trying to nip this in the bud before we even get to the discovery phase. And coming to that, I got to get into this Bishop T.D. Jakes and Dwayne Youngblood, because Bishop T.D. Jakes then filed a motion for expedited discovery. So he said he wants the information and documents now. Not tomorrow, but now. Yesterday. So yeah. Oh, yes, Jay-Z lawyers remind me of Olivia Pope. Yes. Oh my gosh, I missed that show so much. But that's all they trying to play cleanup. It's already been outed. This MJ legal firm with this Marty Croft lady, the private lawyer, she's working with the PI Jessica Santiago. They put up posts that shows the connection with Roc Nation. They're going to protect their own. You know why? In my opinion, they're getting paid. They don't want to mess up that money. They living good over there. So they all are working collectively to bring Buzbee down, to make this go away. But hey, y'all tell me what y'all think about this in the comments below. Child, y'all tell me what y'all think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, y'all be blessed, and I'm out.